You are tuned to Anywhere the Needle Drops. Hey world, this is Justin. I am your host, and welcome to the show. It is an off day on an off week, and yet here we are in your feed. Justin, what is happening? Well, we have a really, dare I say, a special episode. This feels like 1980s sitcom, a very special episode of Anywhere the Needle Drops. But no, this one it truly is a special episode. Today, I sit down with Dena Woods. Dena Woods, very fresh. We just recorded this, and I wanted to get it out to you right away because it was just a wonderful, beautiful conversation. Because Dena is a wonderful and beautiful human and artist. Dena Woods, wow. So Dena is a pillar of the local music scene, and if you're newer to the scene in more recent years, maybe you haven't heard her or seen her quite as much or at all, and that's because she's, taken some time back on her own for a number of years. And so I was quite surprised the other day when I was checking my email, and I had a message in my email from Dena's Bandcamp announcing the very next day a new EP from Dena Woods. And so, of course, I got it right away. And then I also messaged Dena right away. I was like, hey, whoa, long time no talk. Let's get you on the show. And sure enough, we did it. And Dena came down to the studio. We had a wonderful chat about this surprise EP, Wrathful Creature. And honestly, again, just a beautiful, wonderful conversation. I think we both got a little teary-eyed at a moment or two there, which is actually not fair because, as you'll hear, our goal was to make Josh Hensley cry. We know you're listening, Josh, but we ended up probably, I think, both tearing up ourselves. Again, Dena is a wonderful artist, but also just a wonderful human, and we talk so much about the wild journey that we've both been through the last couple of years, and how that applies to creation and finding, there's this drive in the world of creativity and music that it's, produce and, you produce so you can sell and then produce the next thing. And, it can be easy to forget what Dena referred to as the glimmer. Art is not just there to be consumed. Art is there to bring us joy, to help us through things, as both the creator and the person that takes in that art. It's important to remember that in creativity and music. It's not just there to consume, it's there to heal us and elevate us and bring us joy and wonder and all of those things. And again, this is a great conversation. I'm very happy to see some new music from Dena and to catch up with her and all that's been going on in her world. And again, this is just one of my favorite conversations I've ever done on this show, so I hope you enjoy it. Up first, we have the title track off that new surprise EP, Wrathful Creature, which you can get right now on Bandcamp. It's in the show notes. Click on that link, get over there, buy yourself a copy. It's really a wonderful collection of 3 songs, and this is Dena Woods on Anywhere the Needle Drops. Here's to life.
There's a wild woman in me. My shadow self, I don't want you to see. A wrathful creature I like to keep there in the deep. There's a wild woman in me, pushing back on the pain she's seen. So please, my dear, don't come near to me. 'Cause your heart is so lovely and my heart is so ugly. Don't come near.
Dena Woods. Yeah, back on the show after, I don't even know it. I don't know how long ago it was. Normally when I have a return guest, particularly after a long time, I look the episode up from the past, and I didn't have a chance to because this was kind of a quick turnaround. But it's been a while. I mean...
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Pre-pandemic, pre a lot of life.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Yeah,
for
welcome
me.
back. Welcome back. So, we can get into all the time that has passed, but first, let's talk about what prompted this, which is I was checking my email at, I don't know, Monday morning or something, or Sunday, I think it was, and there was like, Dena Woods, new release. Here you go. I was like, wow, okay, where's this coming from? So
Yeah.
what do we have coming out or out now?
Yeah, so I just released a 3-song EP. It's called Wrathful Creature. It's songs that I recorded prior to the pandemic. I'm sure that every person you have on the radio show talks about how the pandemic affected their music or what they're doing. So before the pandemic, I had started recording a full band album. And the intention of the album was to create a full-length project that had as many women music professionals as possible on it. And not just music professionals, women artists. And I was working with a person in Kalamazoo at Western Sound Studios, Maggie Heron. She was doing all the engineering and recording. And I was working with my band, and the intention, we got our first 3 tracks, just us down. And then the intention was to bring in other women from the music community to collaborate on songs that I had written, but allowing each musician to just create their own parts for the song. And we got those first 3 tracks done, and then the world stopped.
Yeah.
So when the world stopped, also my money stopped.
Yeah.
And as you know, it takes money to record an album. So, so I've been hanging on to these 3 songs in my back pocket for a long time. And as you said, life has been lifing, and I finally got the final mixes back in March, and was just kind of hanging on to them. I don't know why, but then just got a wild hair, and I was like, yeah, I'm just going to release these things. Let's just get them out of here. So, yeah.
Okay, so because I got the sense that it was very much just, it seemed like a last minute thing because there hadn't been any prompting officially, but then also I ran into, I was at Artbeat and I ran into Abby and I said something about it and she was like, wait, what? And so,
That's what she said. Well, that's news to me. Yeah, so it was very last minute. I think it was just one of those situations where I've gone through a lot of healing around my musical experience. And it almost felt like hanging on to those songs was just not serving me anymore. And I just wanted to send them out into the world. And it just felt like a good day to do it. And that's why.
Okay. All right. So, obviously with those having been recorded, so long ago, written so long ago, life has changed a lot, both personally and culturally. So, I mean, do those songs mean the same thing to you now as they did? Have they evolved in some way? I mean, I guess when you set out, obviously you had this mission of, female artists in there, but what else were you trying to say with these songs?
Yeah,
originally.
So the songs, I was writing the songs when I was kind of in the deep throes of doing my own trauma therapy work for myself. So I started going to therapy for complex. I have complex PTSD. I've been in recovery for 9 years now, and I started that journey in 2016. And the songs became a container for probably some of the hardest moments of that experience. I had lived a lifetime of experiencing chronic complex trauma and was always in survival mode. And then once I found some safety in my life and some stability in my life, there was a well of unprocessed things that started to come up. And the songs were written in just the hardest times of processing. And they served as kind of this container to sort of, I was experiencing just so many overwhelming emotions and so many overwhelming trauma responses that weren't really accurate for what I was actually experiencing in reality. So it was just a very confusing time for myself, and the people that were close to me. It was a very confusing time. So the songs allowed me to sort of take that confusion and make a little sense of what was going on. Or at least to dissipate some of the energy that I was experiencing within myself and have it just be in a container that made sense. So it really was just, a space for me to process some of the overwhelming stuff I was going through.
Yeah. So, so I've been through a couple of difficult trials in the last couple of years myself, and I have noticed this thing where I get into a point where life is good and safe, as you mentioned, and things seem to be going along well. And then there are things that, maybe I have to revisit for this reason or that. And sometimes it can bring that stuff back up.
Yeah.
Having these songs sort of contained and then readdressing them, does that bring that up in a negative way, or is that more of a healing process, or both?
I feel like both and,
Yeah.
I think that I do think maybe one of the reasons I took so long to release the songs is because they were a reminder of what was going on. And that was hard to sit with. But as I've done a lot more specific therapy, I've been doing a lot of IFS parts work therapy with my therapist, EMDR therapy. And I'm a somatic therapist, so I've been doing a lot of somatic stuff personally as well. And I feel like I have a much larger window of tolerance to be with some of the old stuff. And I think the reason I took so long to release the songs is, they did remind me of some of the hard moments that I didn't want to be with them anymore. But now I feel like I have more capacity to understand that version of me back then she was going, she was going through it.
Yeah.
and also she did the hard work and she got me to where I am now. And, I think, most recently when I've been listening to the songs and spending time with them, I have had some of the grief come back up, but I've been able to be with the grief in a much more compassionate, loving, understanding way rather than a judgmental way towards myself. So I'm not sure if that answers the question, but
Yeah, well, so you mentioned parts work, and I have some familiarity with that myself, but it is sort of this thing where that stuff never goes away. Even though we heal, it never goes away. And so there is almost this version, like the current version of ourselves is almost like the adult or the parent that's taking the hand of that hurt child and like walk with me now, that sort of a thing.
Yeah.
So I think there is that element where you don't want to just shove that in a closet. That's the opposite of what you want to do, you know?
Yeah, I think, when I was writing and performing the songs, I had a lot of younger parts and some protector parts. The younger parts were scared for me to make myself that vulnerable to everybody. And my protector parts were telling me that I wasn't good enough to share those parts of myself musically with people. And so I feel like I'm still like doing some of that work around my musical experience because, those parts just want to protect me. And it is really vulnerable to share yourself musically with people. And I feel like I'm just starting to hold the hand of little Dena, and tell her it's okay for us to, share our vision and share our voice. And it's okay for us to even have fun with music. I think I'm starting to do some of that, more intentional, compassionate parts work with the musical side of myself that I've really struggled to feel comfortable with and honestly feel comfortable, like confident about myself musically. So
Yeah.
So
now that these songs are out here in the world, I don't even know. Are you doing live? Are you playing live in front of an audience these days?
So, well, I did play two acoustic gigs this summer with my partner Kevin. I joke around. We have a secret band that we never practice, we never write songs, and we never play gigs. But we did play together this summer a couple of times. We played at the St. Joseph County Public Library, and that was lovely. And we played at Ruth Muir Museum in Elkhart back in July. And that was really nice, too. But our show got rained out, so we only got to play half our set. But, that is the extent of what I've been playing out live because I've just, I've been going through a lot in my life personally. A year ago, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I've been in cancer treatment since then. So I really can't book too much as I'm continuing to go through treatment. I just have to be really careful with myself and take care of myself. So right now, the music is mainly happening in the living room.
Sure.
and we're just keeping it to the house for now, which is giving me an opportunity to explore some things that I haven't explored before. I think my musical experience has been heavy on the gigging, not as heavy on the writing and recording. So I'm spending more time in writing and recording now.
So that's what you mean when you say exploring some things?
Yeah. So I am exploring music from like, what would it be like to play music and have fun? And so I've been doing, and what would it be like just to do music, not to put out there for everybody else, but also like one of the things that I do is I study how the brain works in relation to, recovery from trauma. I do a lot of yoga, like somatic yoga, and I facilitate a therapy called trauma touch therapy, which basically helps the brain to develop new neural pathways. So clients can experience being in their body in a very neutral way. And, a lot of times when trauma happens, it happens in the body. And it also, the brain will disconnect the mind and the body to protect the person from experiencing similar sensations in the future. And the therapy that I facilitate starts to gently bring the mind and body back together in a really neutral way. So the brain can create new neural pathways in experiencing sensation neutrally, so people can be in their life and in their experience without being overwhelmed. So I nerd out on stuff like bilateral processing in the brain and how can we create new neural pathways. And one of the amazing ways to create new neural pathways in the brain is to learn something new musically. So I've been picking up my partner's bass guitar every day and just doing the same exercise over and over and watching my muscle memory develop and watching how I'm progressing with it. So that's kind of fun and rad.
Yeah.
And I'm going to explore doing just some self-recording, just learning how to, record my own music for fun. Not be so serious about it and just see what I can learn along the way.
Yeah. Well, I think, so often we think about art in these realms as, as a result of this sort of consumerist capitalist culture we live in, it's something you're producing for someone else, for an audience, for so you can sell those tickets or sell those albums or sell that merch, but, that doesn't have to, there's nothing wrong with if you're trying to make your living off your art, but also art is for us too, right? Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that if that is what your profession is. And also it does take some of the magic away from the art and what it can provide us, just like how it can nourish us. Capitalism, it just ruins everything. It really does.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's a t-shirt.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. So, all right. So I guess kind of going back a little bit to the question I asked about, playing live with these particular songs that you just released. If you do play live, those shows that you had recently or shows you might have coming up, if you are able to do so, choose to do so, are those songs that you will be bringing into that set, or is that something more that's left in that recorded space, that past space?
No, I think so. Wrathful Creature, that's the name of the EP, but that's the song. It's also a song on the EP. That one inevitably always makes it into my set list. I don't know what it is about that song. It's my favorite song on the EP. I'm really proud of how, first of all, I can't even believe I wrote it. When I wrote it, I was taking guitar lessons, and it's like I took everything that I learned in guitar lessons and I put it in that song. But it's just a really well-crafted song, and it's also just really beautiful, and I am still amazed that it came from me. But I'm also really proud that I wrote it. So that inevitably always makes it into the set list. I think The Fight doesn't make it. That's another song on the EP. It doesn't make it into the set list because it is more of a full band song, and it's hard to make it make sense in like an acoustic duo type setup. So, and the other song Plain, it can make it into the set sometime. I don't feel, I feel most like cherish, I have a lot of, fondness for Wrathful Creature, and I feel slightly neutral about the other two. So,
yeah. And I guess kind of going back to what we were just saying about the whole consumerism and all, but it is, the EP is on Bandcamp. It's in the show notes, so everyone check it out. It's there.
It is there.
Is it on streaming elsewhere? Is it strictly a Bandcamp thing?
No, it is just on Bandcamp. Yeah. I recently quit Spotify because WTF on Spotify, like, my goodness.
For so many reasons.
For so many
right?
reasons.
Yeah.
I think, it's, they've always treated their artists poorly regarding paying them, but also they've recently invested in AI military projects, and also they are creating AI music. So I was just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's on the Bandcamp.
Yeah. Check out the Bandcamp. As we always say on the show, give musicians your money if you're able, because, you got to support art if you want to keep on, getting new great art. So, and Spotify and streaming, what happens on the back end with what they put their money into aside, or don't put their money into aside. It can be a great way to discover music you haven't heard before, but also it's like people, once you discover it there, then go and support the artists that are making the music that you've found, so.
Since I have gotten off Spotify, I have really enjoyed Bandcamp again.
Yeah.
I've been listening to albums from friends intentionally and spending. I find it feels like a hearkening back to 10 years ago. It feels like it's slowing me down. It feels like I'm actually spending time with the music rather than consuming the music. So I think Bandcamp's great.
Yeah.
I think I also discover a lot of stuff that I never would have discovered on there. I love Bandcamp. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a wonderful, differently curated experience over there where, you're going to find stuff that you're not going to find anywhere else. And some of the lists that they put out there, you're just going to get thrown down paths that you really wouldn't find on, the big streaming services.
Yeah.
And then they have an app and you can do all that stuff. So,
And the big artists are, most of the big artists are on there too. So
Yeah. And you can get a higher quality, sound quality out of it. So, I mean, whenever you buy an album on there, it's like, what format do you want to download this in, which is, I personally love.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So, so as you're going through, this exploration process, do you foresee, will there be potentially like more releases for an audience? Are you just kind of waiting and seeing, like, how do you see that path going forward?
Yeah, I imagine there will be. So the secret band that Kevin and I have, it's our band's called Petals, and we actually have been talking a lot about getting legit serious about writing music, and we have songs. We just are not. We've never been disciplined about spending the time on actually making the music together. And Kevin also has a lot of musical projects too. Like he has his own musical project. He has an ambient project called Color Drift, and then he's in this band called Hav Masuvs, which is this psychedelic rock band that's really good. They're playing shows constantly, and he's put a lot of time into that project. So I always try to be mindful that I don't want to take away from his creativity. But it feels like right now he and I are coming to a place where we're ready to actually sit down and spend some time with Petals. So, and I'm getting ready I'm gearing up for in the next year participating in Weekly Beats, which is this weekly recording project that Josh Hensley from the Rutabaga invited me to do.
Yeah.
So the gist of it all is you submit one recorded piece per week, and it's a way to like just get you into the creative process without getting into your head and being a perfectionist. And I imagine something's going to come out of that if I am committing to recording something every single week next year.
Yeah.
I'm sure something's going to come out of it. So
yeah, I mean, that is one of those things when it comes to art and creativity. I find this in my writing where, if you start churning out a lot, you might churn out a lot of, not great stuff, but something
duds.
good will come out of there. Like, that's kind of the process, right?
Yeah, there's definitely going to be some duds.
And also, I can't help it. I've got to shout out Josh, because just one of the most wonderful humans you'll ever meet. Been on here with several projects, the Rutabaga for us, and just also one of the best humans I've ever met in my life, and responsible for connecting me to a wider music world and human world that I'm forever grateful for. So just, Josh, I think you're listening to this, you usually do, so shout out, Josh. We love you.
We love you, Josh. We do.
Yeah, if we can make Josh cry while listening to this podcast, I think we've achieved something. Success.
You better cry.
That's right. So sounds like some collaborations coming up. Do you, there's Petals. Do you foresee turning back to any of the past collaborations that you've had a part in?
I think I'm open to it, most definitely. I feel like the band that recorded these songs, I love every person in that band so much. And I know all of us have gone through so much life since then. So like that, I do feel like the songs that we just released are kind of like this like little time capsule of all this time that we all spent together. And also I just want to respect everybody's lives. So like I can't really predict, if we'll all collaborate again together. I'm just open, I'm open to just seeing what's out there. I think Kevin and I, with this Petals project, we're going to have fun with it. And then if whatever else comes along the way, I'm really open to it.
Sure. Yeah. I have this this phrase in my head in reaction to some of the seismic shifts in my world in the last 2 years. But it's I'm in this mode of expect nothing but be open to everything.
Yeah,
right.
I love that.
Yeah,
that's rad.
Yeah, it's a good approach to life. It's been doing me well so far.
Good.
So, yeah,
I'm glad to hear it.
So, and no, if is fine too. But any, do you want to shout out anyone that helped you on this project? From the,
Heck yeah. I mean, well, so everyone that played on the album is freaking amazing. I think the reason I love this song so much is like I wrote the song, and also I was never like, hey, I need you to play this on this song this way.
Yeah.
I was like, you write your own parts. So each song is truly a co-created art project from all of us. So Danny Graff played drums. She's amazing. Keith Emerson played bass. Kevin DeClute played lead guitar, and Abby Joyner and Karen Joseph played the voice box. They sang, which the voice is a very intricate musical instrument, and it's my primary instrument. And I still, to this day, every time I listen to Abby and Karen's voices, I get chills and want to cry. So, yeah, they're amazing. So I'm grateful to all of them for putting their own stamp on the songs.
Yeah.
Maggie Heron up in Kalamazoo, she worked so hard, and I appreciate her so much. She's really great sound engineer that recorded everything. And then Jeff Miller from Resonant Sound Studios, he kind of took the last final bits of it, mixed it down, and mastered it. So, yeah. That's
cool. I mean, so many great names in there, and just it shows you how much of a collaboration all of this art is, right?
Yeah.
And all the names that you don't necessarily always think about. So,
and how much work. I mean, that was just 3 songs.
Yeah.
That was a lot of work for 3 songs. So.
Yeah, and shout out to Abby. Back in the day, Ember Jar's been on the show a couple times, and yeah. So actually, I think if I recall correctly, I think the first time we sat down to have you on the show, I think Abby may have been there.
Probably.
I think we all met. This was back in the days where I was just rolling very, dirty, just like a recorder on a table in a restaurant. I think we met at Chicory Cafe, the 3 of us or something.
Okay,
so yeah.
Yes. Oh man, those were back in the good old days.
Indeed. What we often do is when we have a return guest, we dig into the archives and pull some of those episodes out. And now that I have Paul, who actually knows what he's doing sound wise, he takes those old episodes and cleans them up for me, and we'll do like a remaster release to like coincide with the new one. And so it'll be fun to go back and listen to that episode. And,
you'll probably hear coffee cups clinking around and babies crying.
I'm cringing at what that sounds like because I had no idea what I was doing back in that day. So it's so nice to have...
Did any of us though?
No.
Do any of us now? No, we're just winging it.
That's right. We are. But I remember back in that day, I mean, those were the days of, I mean, you were so heavily involved in the music community locally. And I mean, I introduced you to Courtney as a legend or a pillar of the local music scene. And that is 100% true because the foundation of this scene rests on so much work that you did, And I know there was a time where you got a little burnt out of that and had to step away. But really, I mean, what we have here, you are a credit to that. So
well, I appreciate you saying that. It was a time where I was gratefully I had a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And I did put in a lot of work, a lot of hard work. And I tried really hard. And, I made mistakes too, but I tried really hard to implement a foundation that, I am proud of the work, but yes, got very burnout.
Yeah, yeah.
Got very burnout. I was, yeah. Yeah, it was, you know, the time that I was doing all of that, I look back at it now and it's just like some of the most beautiful memories of my life are from that time. And also just some of the hardest moments too. I mean, it was a lot of hard work and not all of it was easy. I mean, you know, back then I didn't have great boundaries and I had not started therapy yet. So I had a lot going on mentally and I was kind of messy in some ways too because of how the work affected me mentally. And I didn't have, you know, a foundation of skills and practices to take care of myself. So yeah, it was as life is, a mixed bag back then. But some of the most beautiful memories of my life come from that time.
Yeah. So as, for the lack of a better term, the scene has evolved and changed since then. How does that feel watching it grow from where it was in those days where you're in more of I guess a passive role at this point? Like what have you seen? What do you love about the scene? What's going on?
It's been, you know, I'm very disconnected, honestly, from the scene right now, just because of everything I've been going through the last year. You know, cancer treatment has just completely taken over my life. And I'm on the other side of the worst parts of my treatment, but I still have to be really careful. I'm immunocompromised, so I can't be out there, you know, willy-nilly with my immune system, you know, if you will. And I would say, too, like the last 2 or 3 years, I've been heavily involved in like the wellness scene, which is very different. You know, I've been doing my own work with somatic therapy and yoga. I was teaching at Soulfire Yoga in South Bend on Mishawaka Avenue and was just heavily involved in that culture. And even some of my music, I started playing around with like playing music and doing guided meditations while I was like playing guitar and stuff like that. So, or teaching yoga classes with live ambient music happening at the same time. I would team up with like a band and we would do a yoga class. So that's been like the extent of like my musical hangouts the last few years.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't been really super connected to shows that much. But you know, I'm grateful that like people are still doing things, you know. I think one of the most amazing things that's happening in the community is coming up here next weekend.
I know, right? Yeah.
Yart is
Yart's
next
coming
weekend.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Which this may be out post Yart, but hopefully everyone listening went to Yart and had an amazing experience because it's. I've actually never been, but this is going to be my first year going, and I know, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Are you going both days or
life's
just
been
one
life,
day?
and I haven't decided yet. I haven't figured that out yet.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it's definitely this is going to be the year where I finally get out there, and I'm so excited because just seeing what you see. Documented of it, and then talking to the people that go to it and participate in it, and the experiences they've had, it seems magical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lauren Steinhofer is a visionary.
Shout out Lauren. Yeah.
Shout out Lauren. And every year, it is remarkable to watch the process of what she and so many people in the community create. It's hard work. There was one year, the year that, so the first year she had it in her yard, and Karen and Abby and I played that year, and that was super fun. And then the following year it was in another person's yard, and our band played that one. And then the following year it was in another person's yard, but the third year, she literally had to like dig out like this overgrown woods to like create pathways. And that's super hard work.
Yeah.
I mean, that's intense physical labor. And she's doing it, you know, in the heat and the bugs and yeah, just watching her do what she does. I am so amazed by her. Like, it's such hard work. And also she still like comes correct with vision. And every year there's something different and mind blowing. So like the evolution of her vision over and over again is fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, the talent in this area is so phenomenal.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
It's
for sure.
just like, you don't need to go anywhere else, really. It's all right here. There's more than you can possibly experience. I was at Fringe Fest this past weekend.
Yeah.
And actually, I performed at Fringe Fest this past weekend.
Did.
Yeah.
I saw a little clip.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah. The talent in that room, and it was a 2-day event, and I was only able to come to the one day, but just the talent in the room for the day that I was there was just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And it's like, we have all this just right here in good old Michiana, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's wild.
People be doing things in Michiana.
Indeed. Indeed. Yeah. And I want to go back. So you talked about some of this work that you've been doing in like the wellness space. That is an aspect of art I think we lose track of often, which is the healing power of it, you know, which I think possibly is actually the more important aspect of it.
Yeah, and I feel like healing has always been an element in all of my musical endeavors. Most recently, I was talking with a therapist in the area, and I was like, man, I'm so sick of trauma. like I'm so sick of my trauma. Like I don't want to talk about, my origin story anymore. And I was like, I really just want to focus on, post-traumatic growth, which is, yes, there is a place and time for processing trauma, but like when people have experienced trauma, they have the capacity to be with that hard stuff because they survived it already. Wouldn't it be more service to people to help them find their way to the growth, to, yes, we want to overcome triggers, but we also want to like have capacity to be with glimmers, the beauty, the joy, the fun, the play. I feel like every survivor really deserves those moments. And for me, those have been the moments that have impacted me and stuck with me the most. I don't want to think about like processing the trauma and how much it hurt and how I had to go through that. I actually now thankfully have a way, like when something comes up, I know the skills and tools to use and I can move through it. But I want to spend time with the stuff I didn't get to have. I want to spend time in the fun and the play and the joy and the beauty of things that I unfortunately didn't get to experience until I was an adult. So yeah, I think one of the things I try to facilitate when I do facilitate like healing and musical stuff now is beauty and how does beauty and nourishment come to us. And a lot of times it's just in having permission to move the way that you want to move. I mean, you dance, and how nourishing movement is for the mind, the body, the soul.
Oh yeah.
So like when I'm facilitating, a yoga class with live music, I just want people to feel safe and calm and well and to be engaging with the music in a way that feels very connected. So
yeah, that is so important. I think that concept of the glimmer, the joy, the play, and the safety to access that in a culture where I don't think that is something that is honored in the way that it should be. And a lot of times it's kind of put down like it's almost that's silly, that is frivolous, that's not important, produce, that kind of a thing. I know, coming out of the collapse of a marriage and doing the work in therapy and all that kind of stuff is all so very important. But the thing that saved me and got me through the past 2 years of my life was Dance Society. That space of movement and music and play and joy. Yeah. That is the thing that got me to the moment that I'm at now. As much as probably more so than the other stuff. The other stuff is very important. But I do think we need to have a revolution of accessing joy and play and fun in
Hell
this
yeah.
world, you know?
Hell yeah. If you want to stick it to capitalism,
Yeah.
that's the way to do it, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you are playing and you are in your joy and you are just in the beauty, and doing things that are not productive, that is the way to stick it to the man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And it
yeah.
also feels so good.
It feels so good. and you're in community with people.
Yeah.
And yeah. So I'm so happy that, shout out Dance Society.
For sure.
I'm so happy that has been supportive to you. I know it's supportive to a lot of people too.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah. It's one of the most wonderful group of humans I've ever encountered.
Yeah,
So
I love that.
Yeah. So well, I mean, obviously you've been living a ton of life, and what is next for you? What is in the future, creatively or otherwise? Like, what are you looking forward to?
I am. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to, what I'm gonna the stuff I'm gonna do in Pedals with Kevin. I think all of my writing has been so like in the past. Again, it's almost been like navel gazing, just like, what is my stuff? How do I process my stuff? I'm excited to not do that.
Yeah.
I think like that served its purpose, but I'm excited to do something a little differently than the way I used to do it. I'm excited to just try new things, try some new instruments out. I'm excited to not be good at something. I think one of my stumbling blocks creatively is like, I don't want to do it if I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
And I think that's, again, hearkening back to a protector part, we can't expose ourselves, or people will know that we're human and we're not good at things, how ridiculous, So I think I'm excited to not be good at something and see how that feels in my nervous system and just, learn how to be chill with that,
Yeah.
So yeah, and I am really looking forward to the Weekly Beats, experience. I feel like that's gonna help me grow in ways that I just have not allowed myself to grow yet. So
Yeah. I love that concept. That's such a wonderful way to just do things. Like, let's just create for the sake of creating.
Yeah.
Good, bad, or whatever.
Josh has invited me a couple times, and I just never even considered it before because I was like, I can't do that. And this was the first time that he recently invited me. And I was like, this is a person that I respect so much. And he's inviting me to do this thing. And I feel like this is the time, if ever, to do it. Man, let's do it. Who cares? like if I make some duds, who cares? And I'll learn along the way. I think that'll be really, really supportive and fun too. Yeah.
I think we all as creators should take a little more of kind of the stance of like stand-up comedy as an approach to our art, where stand-up comedy, you have to you cannot help but go in front of an audience and fail. That is how you write. That is how you do your work.
Yeah. And
I think in all art we need to be a little more comfortable with doing that. Like, here is this thing that I made that's not great, but through that process of sharing it, not necessarily in front of like the wider audience, but with other creators or other people, then you can learn and grow from that. Like, we don't have to be good out the gate. No one is.
No one is.
That's a lie. That's not true. Like, we all suck until we learn to not suck. So
totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
I was playing last night. I was sitting on my back porch, and for whatever reason, I just grabbed my grandpa's old ukulele off the wall, which had been toting around with me for decades. And I just started plinking out on the back porch. And I had a moment where I was like, oh my God, this sounds so bad. And my poor neighbor. And I was like, no, like, this is fine. This is fine. And I just kept on just plunking along. And it was fine. And I even made some cool noises at one point. So,
absolutely.
That's what you do. It's play.
What you do. It is play.
Yeah.
It's so good for our brains. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, okay, so the EP is Wrathful Creatures. It's on Bandcamp, which will be in the show notes, and we'll put all the links to all your stuff there for everyone to check out. Everyone go over there and pick that up, and if you're able, pick that up on Bandcamp for a small fee, and check out the music for sure. So,
Yeah.
Dena, it's good talking to you again.
You too.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You've been listening to Anywhere the Needle Drops from Red Chuck Productions. Keep up on new episodes of this show, our live events and various creations and other happenings over at redchuckproductions.com or by following us on social media at Red Chuck Productions. Special thanks to Hero Jr. for our theme music. You can check them out over at herojuniormusic.com. That is Hero, Hero, Junior, JR, music.com. A big shout out to Paul Clemson and Theory One Productions for handling sound duties and so much more. Check out their magic over at theory1productions.com. And a big thank you to Earthworks Audio for outfitting the Red Chuck studio. See their microphones and their other products over at earthworksaudio.com. Be sure to support all of our guests by visiting their websites, social media, clicking that subscribe button, seeing them live, and checking out their merch stores. Give musicians and artists your money. We'll be back with the next episode. Until then, thank you for your time. Here's to life.
I'll be